Today is really about honoring three very special Old Brentonians. Firstly, let me welcome all the current parents, the past parents, our emeritus faculty members who are here, and most particularly the Old Brentonians of our school. Welcome back to your school. So in partnership with the Old Brentonians Executive, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the second annual presentation of the 2017 Old Brentonian Awards. We are here to honor three individuals who have been selected by their peers to receive one of the following awards. The second award is Outstanding Old Brentonian Award that honors an Old Brentonian for outstanding career achievements and service. Last year's winner was Michelle McLaren. It's a unique way we do the Old Brentonian Awards, so it's really peer-to-peer. Old Brentonians are asked to submit names. Those names then go to the Old Brentonian Executive. Through a secret ballot, they vote on the nominated people, and then those three people then come, and I have the privilege to phone these people and say that they have received this award. I'd like to introduce Mr. David Burton now, Rogers House 1993, and current parent, to present the 2017 Outstanding Old Brentonian Award. Mr. Burton.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce you today, Jaya Murthy. Jaya arrived at Brentwood in 1988 from Edmonton, Alberta, graduated in 1993 as a Rogers House lifer. In 2002, after completing a bachelor's and master's degree in communications at Carleton University and McGill University, respectively, Jaya embarked on the international humanitarian career for which we are recognizing him today. He began his work with a local NGO to promote local language literacy in rural deprived communities of Ghana. In 2003, working with an international NGO, Jaya prepared the persecution claims of at-risk Liberian and Sierra Leone refugees from various countries of asylum across West Africa for resettlement in the United States. From 2002 to 2006, Jaya worked with the UN High Commissioner for Refugees in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. In his role, he was responsible for repatriating Burundian and Rwandan refugees who had fled their countries in the aftermath of the 1990 civil wars in Burundi and the 1994 Rwandan genocide. Jaya's next role, still with the UN High Commissioner for Refugees in the Democratic Republic of Congo, was implementing the UN-led humanitarian reforms. From 2006 to 2007, Jaya co-led the protection cluster in South Kivu province as they sought to develop measures to better protect vulnerable civilians from predatory armed groups. Jaya then went on to serve as the UNICEF spokesperson in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo from 2007 to 2009. He publicly advocated for international support for Congolese children in acute need during multiple conflict-driven international displacement crises. In 2009, Jaya moved from Africa to Asia, where he was based for 4 years. In Baghdad, Jaya served as UNICEF Iraq's Chief of Communications. He worked with the government of Iraq and other key stakeholders to advocate for focused investment in support of the most marginalized children in Iraq. As well, Jaya mobilized support for an influx of Syrian refugee children into northern Iraq. In late 2011, Jaya served as UNICEF's acting chief of communication in Somalia, where he managed UNICEF's communication during the 2011 Somalia famine. Since 2013, Jaya has been serving as the Chief of Communications and Strategic Partnerships for UNICEF in Uganda. He is galvanizing stakeholders from government, the private sector, media, civil society, and faith-based organizations to increase investment in Uganda's most vulnerable children. Jaya is currently executing a communications strategy to mobilize support that will enhance UNICEF's response to the more than 2,000 South Sudanese refugees who are arriving in Uganda every day. In 2012, Jaya was a recipient of the Queen Elizabeth II's Diamond Jubilee Medal. The award honors significant contributions and achievements by Canadians. Please join me in congratulating my good friend, my former Rogers House roommate, class of 1993, as the recipient of the 2017 Outstanding Old Brentonian Award.
Wow, good afternoon, everybody. Dave and I, we roomed together for 3 years from 88 to 91, and I'm pretty sure there was nowhere close to those kind of words that were coming at that time. And we didn't do much studying during our prep to elicit those kind of words either, but here we are. Somehow it all works out. It's really, really good to be back. It's been a long, long time, and it's pretty surreal to be back. Running into John Alpress, we were running into each other right where the old Rogers House used to be. He's like, this is the entrance of Rogers House. Of course, the campus has changed so much in the last 25 years, and incredibly so. So great to see Brentwood so vibrant and full of energy and so progressive. You know, arriving today, I was saying to Dave on the way over here, you know, I don't remember it being so beautiful, you know, so on one hand, I feel like I've never left, but on the other hand, I'm looking at everything with new eyes and a new perspective. I've probably driven that road 50 times, and I don't think I ever noticed it being, you know, so gorgeous. So it's just funny how your perspective changes over time. You know, 25 years passing, but at the same time, you know, sprinting to catch sign-in at the cafeteria and all those things, those memories are as vivid as ever. So when I received the call from Bud at the beginning of April, and then had subsequent discussions with Dave, with Risa, with Ian, I just started to really reflect on this award and really my time at Brentwood. And I probably, you know, developed some insights that I probably hadn't really, you know, thought about with such introspection before. And that's just how much Brentwood really was critical in terms of giving me some formative experiences. And there's a few examples as I was just, you know, recalling the 5 years that I was here. John Alpress was our housemaster for 3 years in Rogers House when we were from grade 8 to grade 10. And I remember in grade 9, it was 1989. I guess, I mean, so much for dating myself. But and I remember us sitting in a house meeting, and all of a sudden the tone of the house meeting just got very, very serious, and you could cut, you know, the air with a knife. And John Alpress was saying to all of us at that time, he was saying, you know, gentlemen, it's not okay to ever strike somebody, and especially to strike a woman. There was an incident that had happened in the community. And so he stressed that point. And here I am, and I still remember that moment. You know, and it's just one experience of how a teacher can influence you. Another time, Frank Purdon, who is our housemaster from grade 11 to grade 12. My grandmother passed away in grade 11. It was my first experience of death in the family. And I was walking around campus just on my own, and he came up to me and he just said, you know, she'll always be with you. You know, she's part of you. She'll always be with you. And that has stayed with me. And then in grade 11 and grade 12, Andrea Pennells. So many conversations, just nurturing conversations. I must say right up front that I was not a stellar student here at Brentwood. And Andrea Pennells, you know, was just so nurturing and caring and encouraging, you know, to find my interest and to find my passion and to go for it. And those are still with me, you know, so really those experiences and many others. We had a good chat with Rob McLean You've all contributed to kind of sowing seeds for character and for the future, and to treat people with respect, to cherish positive influences, and to nurture interests and follow your passion. So thank you so much to all of the old teachers who are here. Considering that, foundational development really, it's like coming home. I think you said it so well, Bud. I mean, it is like coming home, 5 years is, my entire adolescence basically I spent here. So really, when I learned a little bit more about the award and that it was nominated by fellow alumni and then selected and deliberated on by alumni, I couldn't really understand why, because I've been pretty disconnected and disengaged from the school. But it is just as such an honor. I'm so humbled that my path is thought of in such esteem by you, by fellow old Brentonians. So really, thank you very much. And I've been thinking, what should I do with this honor, and I figure just receiving this award is not enough. So I've been thinking, how can I pay this back? How can I pay back the honor? Brentwood's influence at that stage in my life, those critical lessons that have helped guide me throughout my journey to this day, and this honor, I just feel that it now needs to be paid forward, and I need to pay it forward back to the school. So I've been thinking, how are some ways that I can engage and get back to the school? So some of the ways I was thinking is talking to students. Of course, I'm going to stay on Monday and Tuesday and talk to them. But what I hope we can do is to have a structured form of engagement where any students that are interested in international development or humanitarian work or multilateral politics or political economy or whatever it is, I'd be happy to share my experience if that would be of value. We're at an interesting time in the world. The Sustainable Development Goals have just been adopted. We have a very ambitious set of targets that the international community is aiming to achieve by 2030. There are many countries that are affected by conflict around the world. Just where I'm at in Uganda now, we have 2,000 South Sudanese refugees that are arriving every single day. We also have refugees from the Congo and from Burundi. Somalia's in famine, Yemen's in famine, Nigeria's in famine. There's a lot happening in the world that needs urgent attention. And then I couldn't really help but think, all of these wonderful experiences that I've had, but yet I'm doing this work now in Uganda. I just wanted to share a little bit of the situation of children in Uganda. Most young children, they enroll in grade 1. 94% of 6-year-olds in Uganda enroll in grade 1. But by the time they get to high school, only 25% of them continue on to high school. And there's many reasons why they're dropping out. Poverty. 55% of children under the age of 5 are living in poverty. They're deprived of many basic services. Child marriage. 50% of all women in the country were married under the age of 18. 25% of all teenage girls are either pregnant or have a child. There's HIV/AIDS. 66% of all new infections are contracted by adolescent girls. So if we think about, our cohort here at Brentwood, it's not lost on me the experience that I had and then the experience that millions and millions of children around the world are practically experiencing. Girls and boys are dropping out because they don't have toilets. It's just things that are as simple as that, really. Coming back to how I'd like to engage, if there are students that are interested in this, I'd be happy to serve as an advisor or to mentor. And I think even more than that, if there's opportunity for Brentwood, even in terms of a strategic partnership with UNICEF or with the UN system, I think it's something that I would love to brainstorm and explore on how we can do that. Because Brentwood, with these facilities, with all the resources that are here, with the rich alumni network, there's a lot to offer I think, in terms of what I've seen over the last 15 years overseas. So in conclusion, really, I just want to say that it's just such a profound honor to be back. It's really a full circle moment for me. I've received so much from the school, and I wouldn't be where I am without the school. There's no question about it. This honor, really, I just want to give it back as best as I possibly can. And I look forward to moving forward together. So thank you.
Thanks, Jaya. And just a very quick story about Jaya. When I phoned him, I think it was FaceTime we did, he was in Tanzania, I think, at the time. And when I said, you know, there's the awards actually happening 4 weeks from now, so maybe figure out a schedule you can get here. But and he didn't think he could make it. But then I subsequently understood that he took 5 planes, I think, 25 hours of travel, arrived last night. To be here. So, Jaya, thank you for those wonderful words and for being here as well.